Hi everyone, Aldbar here. This is my solo walkthrough and guide to the level 18 heroic quest, the Shipwrecked Spy, on the elite difficulty. Enjoy. Hi everyone, Warjack here. This quest takes place inside of the Inspired Quarter right off the harbor. This quest is a standalone quest, part of the Path of Inspiration quest chain. It means you don't have to complete anything or flag to get into it. It's part of the adventure pack. There will be some DDO video making insight by Aldbar at the end of this quest, so stay tuned.
You make your way above decks into the salty sea air. The ship is docked at the island, yet the captain seems strangely tense. Battle stations, prepare to repel boarders.
This quest can be very tricky to solo if you're trying to go and get all objectives. Now keep in mind that to complete this quest, there's a fail state if the captain dies, but only the captain must survive. Now if you're trying to go to get all the objectives, you'll have to try to make sure that all of the crewmates also will survive. So there are 2 points that have these mobs spawn in and they approach you, and you need to protect both of them. Those are the ramps on the far left and the far right. The center ramp, they don't directly access it, they just come through the right or the left. So putting up some kind of crowd control at the 2 points will take care of them. Now besides that, you have to add somewhat up the dock, you have to also add another crowd control point. The reason for this is that archers appear and they only run halfway down the dock and they start firing arrows at your crewmates and eventually they will kill them. So if you want to prevent this from happening, you're gonna have to set up another crowd control point somewhat up the dock. So about halfway up is about fine. And then just keep on refreshing your crowd control points by going back and forth. This quest can be very frustrating if you're trying to solo it with a low DPS character. Let's say you're a tank. Because if you don't have some kind of way to protect the captain, he'll just get shot down and you'll fail the quest. Other than that, it's basically pretty smooth. I just keep on running back and forwards and refreshing my crowd control, which is sphere of dancing on both sides, next to both ramps. I first refresh the 2 that are right next to the ramps onto the ship, and then the 2 that are midway on the dock, and I go right to left. And I keep on going back and forth. There's a few waves and it just takes a few minutes. Having 2 of these locations of crowd control also means that if one of the mobs gets past one of them, there's a good chance they'll get caught in the second one. This quest was considered a very challenging quest back when it came out. You were doing this at endgame. Your level 20 character didn't have anything like epic destinies today, so you were much less powerful. And making a solo run on this quest was probably not really that viable, especially if you're trying to go for full optionals. That could have been really, really tricky. Right now we're just waiting for the wave to end and for the boss to spawn.
The gritty battle ends in your favor, though the attackers may still make a last attempt to overtake the ship. The attacking Darkbot forces are nearly depleted. Only their leader stands between you and victory. With the ship now safe, the captain is waving you over. He wishes to speak with you.
Once you kill all the mobs, you're going to need to speak to the captain. This is one of the quest objectives. If you forget it, you're going to have to walk back here to talk to him. A few optionals you can do on this ship. One is get rid of all the breakables. And two, you can use these cannons. They'll fire into the crowd coming. This is only viable if you got somebody else to stand on it. Also, because I saved the entire crew, I get 2 chests. Also, please note that the objective to not have the captain die stays active. Although you don't have to worry about it because there's no longer any mobs who get this far and that could attack the captain. So you don't have to worry about it anymore. On the island is just one adventure pack collectible, nothing else interesting on the shore.
The sound of an opening gate echoes from the island's interior.
We face off against a few rounds of mobs. Killing them will allow you to progress by opening up gates and stuff like that. So you're can't just run past. One of the optional objectives is to find a crest for a secret door. It can be in one of these 3 locations inside of this scorpion bowl. So right as you pass the shrine, you take a little left and walk up this hill. This is one of the places you can find it. Okay, so here's from the gate. You take a left up this little hill. Here we've got a trap who's fixed. This pit spike and this pit full of spikes. But if you just walk up on the rocks to the left of it, you can just bypass it. That's the way you're supposed to get past this trap. You notice there's a cave on the other side. That's where we go for the optional once we have the crest. You don't have to kill all these monsters with ranged. You can actually access every one of them in melee. You just have to walk around and get there. Here you can see there's like this crossover you can go on this piece of rock. Up next over here we have a visual trap. That means you can't see the trap. It's very tricky, but there's actually a way to see it. I'll show you in just a moment. If you scroll all the way in and move forward very slowly, you'll be able to see where there's a walkway and where there isn't. You can jump over the part that's missing. That way you don't fall in. If you go very slowly, you can tell if there's like a wooden texture underneath, which is the walkway, or it's just the shrubbery. Here in the corner, there's actually a ladder you can see sticking out. You can climb down this ladder. Typically people just fall in by mistake. But there's also one of the places that can drop that crest is right here in this pit. So you can visit this pit without getting hurt. And you can see from the top that it's got lots of gaps in it. So you can either just run and jump over the whole thing, but typically people fall in the gap right at the beginning. But there's actually places where it crosses the whole gap. But don't worry about it too much. And basically you'd walk up, you would zoom in, you would hop a little bit, and then you land on the boards and continue walking. That's it.
Another clanking sound comes from further inside the island. The sound of another gate opening.
As I mentioned before, some of these mobs open up gates, so if you just run past him, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have to go back and try to find him.
The outpost ahead is guarded by ruthless-looking drow. They make no move to attack you, but they do not make you feel welcome either.
The spike trap is fixed. Just don't step in it. It's not really a trap. Here we have the option to just finish this quest, or we could tell them we want to wait a little bit and go explore. So off to the right of this camp, there's another path, and here's the final location where you could potentially find the crest, and here we've got it. Now I'm going to head towards the cave. This is the first pit with spikes, and on the right side is where you get the cave.
The key that matches that socket by the door must be here on the island, but where?
We've got a locked door, and to the left there's a valve. So, pull this valve,
The sound of a stone door grinding open.
and it opens the door someplace else. So, we'll pull this valve.
From the cave entrance comes the sound of another door grinding open.
And now we've got access to this cave. DDO has a few places where you've got lava bubbling or jumping out of the lake like this. Also, this is deep lava, so beware of falling in. You might have to swim back out. So as you can see, there's like these caves on both sides. So on the map it's south or down, and then you have to try to do these jumps. If you miss them, you end up dipping your feet in lava, but you can get past even without like a long jump, just regular jump if you time it right. It's very frustrating though when you hit your head on the ceiling and it bumps you down into the lava. Anyway, on this side you find this lovely optional.
There's a small fortune held before you. Looks as gold is but a part of the treasure.
So I gotta take a second and stop, so get myself a screenshot for the thumbnail. Finding this treasure is one of the quest optional objectives. From here we can just head back out. I'll just show you what's on the other side first. As you can see, passing back is much harder. And there's nothing on the side. Yep. Well, again, I can swim back out and walk back out, or just use a dimension door and teleport out. This isn't faster, it's just easier. Yeah, and that's it basically. Now we can just head back in and finish the quest. All we need to do is talk to the spy, and that will conclude this quest. All in all, this quest really isn't that difficult. I do like the fact that they have that hidden treasure. It's one of those places in DDO where most players do not visit. I don't know why, people just don't want to bother, and it's just a nice place to go. So if you have the opportunity, maybe you want to go check it out. It's just for the fun. By the way, you can also long jump across that pit, but I don't want to use that method. I don't want it to seem like that's the only way to get past it. Yeah, there we go. XP isn't great. That's whatever. If you do it with a group and you go really fast, not too bad. I almost forgot the chest. That would mean that I might have to re-record this video. Well, there you go. Well, as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. And now for those of you who've been waiting for the DDO video insight, well, here we go. One of the things that I need to keep in mind when recording the videos is to try my best not to let the viewer get bored. So, one big problem that creeps up in every quest is what I do with the time when I'm buffing. So, what I did notice is that many quests start off with some kind of DM text. If you step in and move even one step, it will trigger that initial DM text. Meaning, if I get it to start then I can buff while you're listening to the DM talk. Also, I can interact with, like, let's say in this case, the captain over here. So it gives you a moment to read at least the text, and I can buff between, rather than just standing and watching my back statically move while I'm buffing and getting bored. So this is something that doesn't have a solid concrete solution. Sometimes you can just buff on the go, so to speak, start running and buffing, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes your objective is right there when you start, and you need to try to find some kind of clever way to make it not feel boring, because one of the cardinal sins of making a DDO video is letting the viewer watch a full minute of buffing in real time, and it's just really annoying. So if you can do anything to try to change that a little bit and make the time spent be more pleasurable, it's a big win for you. Yeah, and that's it. So thank you very much for being a true fan, staying all the way to the end, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.